Circular designs as linked layers in Affinity Photo can be used to great effect. Set up a circle. Basically create one shape and it will change all if you're using them as linked layers. You can see there, they're all linked layers. How to do that? Simply just go to Layer and Duplicate Linked. They've all been duplicate linked. However, you'll notice they're all the same design, but they're all slightly angled. So what I've done, just rotated it and then positioned it all the way around, rotated it all the way around. And that's the key thing. Make certain you've changed the angle in that circle. Don't have them all just straight. Well, you can if you want, of course, perfectly reasonable as well. However, now once you've got that design, and you of course can position it further out, you don't have to have it crunched up very close. You could have it very crunched up, very close if you want. And you could have more than that, of course. But what you can also do, you go to Filters, Distort and Deform. That's a good start, a filter. And as a filter, what you can do, you can then distort this design and then just straight away you can see what happens. Just drag that out and it will just drag. Of course it breaks apart at a certain point. You can stretch it only so far. Otherwise you can go to that one and you can stretch that out as well. And again you can add some additional points and you can move those around and create all kinds of unique designs. Very simple, and they all change in exactly the same way. And you can add, like I say, as many handles as you want, and you can have them closer or further, and you can always undo. So just add it on there and you can see the design just change. Once you're happy, click apply. It does take a few seconds to process, but it's just done now. But you can undo as well. If you decide, you know what, I don't want that. What I want, and also you can always resize them. You can always have maybe some one size and another size. Perfectly reasonable as well. So you can just vary them. I'm just going to put that down to there. What you can also do, go to Filters and Distort, maybe go for twirl. And you see what happens then, you get this twirl design applied all the way around. And that's just a very localized design. But if you just slowly but surely change it, and you can see what happens, they just rotate. And of course you might have 100. So you could have 100 of them in this design. So the whole screen will be filled with this design. And you can always cancel if you don't want that. And you can always move things around again, just slightly, subtly move it. And you can use any of them. Start point, that one, perfectly reasonable as well. Then go to Filters and Distort and go down to twirl. And again, you've got exactly the same. And you can then start from there. You can change the angle. You can also change the radius as well. Up to you. Now you'll notice there's some occasional, where it cuts it off. However, as soon as it processes it, it will go back to the correct value. Now once you've done that, you can go to Filters, maybe go for Blur. So go for Gaussian Blur. So you can just blur them all. They're all blurred. It's not blurred over the image, just those designs that are linked. You can see the link there. And again, once you've done that, you can always go back to Filters, maybe Deform this time again. And then just change that. Distort the design in all kinds of different ways just by using this approach. What you can also do, if you decide, I don't like that colour scheme. However, the one trouble is they're pixels, because you need to be, if you create them, you can create them very quickly over here by using the shape. That's all I did, just create a shape. However, you need to convert that to a pixel, so just rasterize. Does mean, unfortunately, the fill colour can't be quickly changed. What you can then do, just go to Select and go to Selection from Layer. So Selection from Layer, you can see now you've got a selection around that. Now you can go to, let's just go here to the gradient tool, just select that and just add the gradient. And as you do that, you notice that they eventually, and it's not instantaneous again, they will all update with the thing. If you move that slightly around, they will all update. There's only certain things that can be changed, things like that with the colours, etc. Also, you can add a layer style or layer effects. Simply just go over here, as long as it's selected, as long as that design is selected there, that's the key thing. Just go here to the effects, and then you can say, well, I want 3D. So 3D, you can see as soon as you do that, they all become 3D, all with the same design. And and then you can modify various settings. You can change the ambient light, just move that around, and you can see as you do it, just modifies very quick and easy. Likewise, bevel emboss, you can do that as well. And there's others, of course, gradients, and so many more. Just close that. So you've got this design now. Well, again, you can still go to filters even with these as well. But what you can also do, you can select the whole design and you can resize it. And if you want, you can also duplicate this design. So you just go here and duplicate, just go to layer and duplicate linked. That's the key thing, duplicate linked. And then just put that above there. Resize it maybe. And you can do the same, go all the way around. So layer, duplicate linked, and you can just change it, just add additional paths in that circle design. And then you can use all those, and any change to this one will change in all the others. So simply just go to filters, again distort, maybe twirl again, just modify that design, and that will add into the effect. And of course you could create a whole range of different, maybe 5 or 6 entries going outwards. Just takes a little bit of time to generate the design in the first place. But of course you can use other shapes. You don't have to have that sort of shape. You've got here, you just go, maybe go for a triangle tool. So quickly with triangle, just create basic triangle like that. Now what you need to do is again, layer and go down to rasterize before you do anything else. Otherwise what happens, the triangle, when it becomes a raster, just suddenly loses the connection. So it needs to be done first. So then a layer and duplicate linked. And then you can rotate it and move them all around. Now I've got a shortcut for this, so I'm just going to quickly go through them. Well, once you've got your star design or triangle design, whatever you want to call it. Now, of course, again, exactly the same as before. They're all linked. You can see there, you've got the link there. You can simply go over to the other filters. And again, you can use other ones like that where you resize it. Not so effective. But of course, what you can do, you can always go and apply the filters. So just going for distort, but instead of deform, which you can do, of course, you can also go for affine. And there's a number of settings here. So you've got scale, maybe offset. And go through those, and I'm just going to quickly go for, say, scale 200. So 200x, you can see the end result there. They all get scaled. Or maybe go for 50. So they get all crunched up like that. Maybe go for 50 there. Maybe go for an offset. And they all change at the same time. Also, you've got wrap and mirror. So you can see you end up with some interesting designs over there. However, you can also use filters, distort, and maybe equations or mirror. So mirror design, go for number of mirrors, and you can see the design there as you drag that out. And you can just change it, modify it, change the input, create a whole range of different designs. And also, of course, change the number of mirrors. And once you're happy with the design, there's click apply. And you've got that design. Now, you'll notice they're still all linked. So if you decide to use that design, you've got this design here, perfectly reasonable, you can always simply hold down the layer and duplicate linked again to create another design. So you can create some very abstract designs simply by using that approach. And again, any other ones as well, layer and duplicate there. And again, still can modify it. So filters, distort and deform. And you can deform that design. So I'm just going to put that around there and warp that design. And as you do that, you can see what happens. The design sort of warps in all kinds of different ways. Like was that one there. And again, once you're happy, click apply. And they're all processed exactly the same way. It's a great way of creating some very interesting symmetrical mirror effect designs in Affinity Photo. Hope you found this of interest. Please check out the other videos in the sequence on this linked layers feature. A like or dislike always appreciated as well. Thank you much.